Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Lim Nackred. You know, we continue to follow the latest with Hurricane Milton, which of course is coming on the heels of Hurricane Helene, and so many communities already devastated by Helene and now preparing for this next hit. And that's why evacuees looking for shelter in Georgia are being asked to go to Macon, Columbus, Albany, and even here to Atlanta instead of South Georgia near the border, which is still recovering at the moment. Sarah Hammond reports from Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport with much more.
We're likely to see some of those people evacuating from Florida arrive here at the airport this morning. I looked at the arrival screen and there are quite a few flights arriving from Tampa, Orlando, Sarasota, West Palm Beach in the next few hours here. Florida officials have put evacuation orders in place and predict this could be the largest evacuation since Hurricane Irma in 2017. Tampa International Airport says it will suspend operations at 9 a.m. today. Orlando will close tomorrow. St. Pete Clearwater International Airport, which serves the Tampa Bay area, announced all of its flights are canceled for Wednesday and Thursday. And like we've shown you and videos online show, it's bumper to bumper traffic as people try to head north out of the path of this Category 4 hurricane. And Patty Rhodes left Sarasota, Florida with her family early Monday and passed through Atlanta on their way to North Carolina.
When we saw the strength of this storm after what happened with the last two, we decided it was time to take a break.
If you are evacuating, there are a couple of important things to note. GEMA asks that you call ahead for space availability because some places are still short on space and supplies in those areas that were hit by Hurricane Helene. They also note that the Atlanta Motor Speedway is open and accepting people to come in. It's free and it's a safe place to get out of the path of this hurricane. At Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, I'm Sarah Hammond for Atlanta News First.
And, you know, I just want to let you know that we here at Atlanta News First and our, our owners, Gray Television, are partnering with the Salvation Army to support Hurricane Helene response efforts. And so far, we've raised more than $340,000, and we've made the donation process really simple for you. I pulled up the page on AtlantaNewsFirst.com if you want to find out more about how you can get involved and help with some of that relief efforts underway. All right, let's turn out to the latest on the situation out of Rockdale County. Obviously, businesses there are being pushed to the breaking point because of what's been going on there. Right now, a revised shelter in place is active for anyone within a 2-mile radius of BioLab in Conyers, where that chemical fire started more than a week ago. Businesses certainly suffering, to say the least. Atlanta News First reporter Don Shipman is with the First Alert Breaking News Tracker in Rockdale County, where elected leaders are meeting today to discuss steps moving forward.
Those state leaders will be meeting at the Capitol today, meeting with business owners. And then here at the county level, for the first time, county leaders will meet here in Conyers, focusing in on public safety, public health, and accountability. Many businesses are still being economically impacted, having to close earlier than normal, especially the ones inside this new 2-mile radius shelter-in-place order. BioLab has had similar incidents in the past, one 4 years ago in 2020, and then before that in 2004. Today, the Board of Commissioners is holding a work session for the first time to figure out how to hold BioLab accountable. State legislators are also meeting today with those business owners at the Capitol to discuss action at the state level.
Right now, I'm losing business. You see, look, I'm empty. And I got a liquidation sale. People not coming in, they're afraid to come out. I shouldn't have to compromise my health, to provide and to keep my obligation to my vendors, to my family, and my commitment to my customers.
And both of those meetings getting underway at 10 o'clock this morning. In Conyers, Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.
Thanks so much to Don for that report. Okay, let's turn now to this story out of Gwinnett County. And investigators right now are trying to figure out a motive after they say that a man fired at deputies right outside the Gwinnett County Jail. That suspect was then shot by deputies and is now in the hospital. Atlanta News First Asia Wilson reports on what we know so far from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation headquarters.
This was a big deal on yesterday. It was a massive presence outside of the Gwinnett County Jail, as well as a lockdown. The Gwinnett County Sheriff says the man was acting erratically before entering the building While continuing to demonstrate unusual behavior, we're told the suspect left the building, went to his car, grabbed a gun, and started shooting at deputies. That's when deputies fired back and shot him. The suspected shooter was then taken to the hospital for treatment. Right now, his condition is unknown, but he is recovering. Meanwhile, this morning, the Gwinnett County Sheriff is happy his deputies were not harmed.
Nobody's ever okay after these type of situations. There's going to be ongoing trauma, mental trauma, things that we're going to have to deal with, all of us, when we have incidents like this. So, you know, an accurate statement, I thank God that none of my deputies got hurt.
Now, Sheriff Taylor says the suspect is known to law enforcement right now. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation is looking into this entire situation. From the GBI headquarters, Asia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
And turning now back to Hurricane Milton, and First Alert meteorologist Rodney Harris is tracking that because, you know, there's a lot of concern, and I know a lot of parts of Georgia are preparing to host evacuees.
Yes, so we are increasingly more concerned, Joy, about our friends to the south and middle Florida because of Hurricane Milton, which is still expected to make landfall. This will be Wednesday night. Anywhere between Tampa and Sarasota as a major hurricane. So that is still a concern for us. If you've been following us over the past 24 hours, you know that Milton exploded into a Category 5 hurricane yesterday with 180 mile per hour winds. That was just unbelievable. Milton has come down a bit since then. The winds are, as you can see here on the right hand side of your screen. In fact, I'll make that full. Are at 145. So still a strong Category 4 hurricane. And you're going to probably hear a lot about these categories and wind speeds changing. It's still a very dangerous storm, and it will remain a very dangerous storm as it approaches Florida, regardless of what the category or the actual wind speed is. So keep that in mind for those of you further south of Georgia. Here's a look at the updated forecast track. It's pretty similar to what we were seeing yesterday. We are going to see Milton now turn toward the north and east and start to approach Florida here over the next 24 hours. Again, it will remain a major hurricane. That's at least a Category 3 or stronger, and we're showing it fluctuating between a 4 and a 5 today. It's because of what we call an eye wall replacement cycle, which happens with hurricanes and tropical systems. And so as that happens, there will be fluctuations in strength. But again, it'll stay a major hurricane regardless of the actual wind speed. So landfall, here we go. This is between Tampa and Sarasota. This is Wednesday night going into Thursday morning. Again, very heavy rain, flooding is expected, strong winds, and unfortunately, life-threatening storm surge. The storm surge will always happen to the right of the center of the hurricane, so that will be south of that line. And wherever the actual center of Milton sets up, that's where the worst will be. So we're really focused on the Tampa Bay to Sarasota area right now. We'll know that more specifically as we get closer to Wednesday night, but that will by far be the biggest issue, is that life-threatening storm surge, which is essentially water that will be coming out of the Gulf of Mexico by the feet and moving onto land in that particular area. But as we zoom out beyond storm surge, life-threatening flash flooding is also possible throughout all of Middle Florida, including locations like Orlando. So this will be a concern again Wednesday into Thursday for Florida. Since yesterday, we've also had some changes here. Obviously, Central Florida is under a hurricane warning, but we also have a tropical storm watch that's in effect for the Georgia coast, including Savannah. That goes all the way up to Charleston in South Carolina. Here's why that's happening. I'm going to take our forecast model, take you back into the Gulf of Mexico. That legend at the top of your screen, yellow, that is a tropical storm wind of 39 miles per hour. Orange is a severe thunderstorm wind of 58 miles per hour. And red is a hurricane force wind of 74 miles per hour. So here we go. As Milton moves toward Florida, the wind, tropical storm winds will increase like Wednesday afternoon. And that's important because landfall won't be until Wednesday night going into Thursday morning, but they'll feel those tropical storm winds well ahead of when Milton actually makes landfall. That red, which is a hurricane wind, will start to move over Tampa late Wednesday going into the overnight hours into Thursday. And it's at this time around 3, 4 o'clock on Thursday morning when that yellow starts to hit southeast Georgia. So this is when a tropical storm wind gust is not impossible for southeast Georgia, the coast there. And then this is Thursday morning. Even up until like noon Thursday, we're still showing a little yellow along the southeast corner of Georgia. So if you have any travel plans to the Georgia coast, it won't be as bad as what they'll see in Florida, but a tropical storm wind gusts will certainly be possible during the day on Thursday in the morning. And then by Thursday afternoon, as you can see, Milton will quickly move into the Atlantic Ocean. So that's the story to the south. That will have no impact. Milton having no impact on North Georgia at all. We have cooler weather around here in North Georgia, and that will remain the case for us for the rest of the week. We started in the upper 50s this morning in Atlanta, so it was already cooler this morning as you stepped out the door. The high today in Atlanta will be 80. If you're north of Atlanta in the suburbs, you're more likely to get into the upper 70s today, and that'll basically be the story for the rest of the week. So here is your 7-day forecast. You'll see that it's a pretty decent 7-day forecast for North Georgia. Lots of sunshine through the weekend. Again, 70s for highs for the most part. What you will notice is the morning lows will continue to drop throughout the week. So we were in the upper 50s this morning, back into the upper 50s Wednesday morning. By Thursday, 57. Friday, 53. Saturday, 52. So Friday and Saturday mornings, if you're in the suburbs, especially north of Atlanta, Cobb County, Cherokee County, Gwinnett County, the 40s are not impossible for you. So we're talking about light jacket to jacket weather as we head toward the end of the week. And again, plenty of sunshine there in the 7-day forecast. We simply won't have much happening here. The same cold front that moved through North Georgia yesterday is moving toward Florida. That'll help to kind of curve Milton away from us. High pressure is building into North Georgia, so that's why we're not forecasting much happening here outside of sunshine and cooler temperatures. But we will certainly keep you up to date on Milton with updates and the First Alert Weather app and a complete forecast update on Atlanta News First at noon. We hope you guys enjoy the weather here around North Georgia. And until next time, we'll see you soon.